a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Kevin Harvick. Kevin Michael Harvick is an American professional stock car racing driver. He currently competes full-time in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, driving the number 4 Ford Fusion for Stewart-Haas Racing, and part-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, driving the number 98 Ford Mustang for SHR in an alliance with Biagi-DenBeste Racing. Harvick is the former owner of Kevin Harvick Incorporated, a race team that fielded cars in the Xfinity and Camping World Truck Series between 2004 and 2011. He is the 2014 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion and a two-time Xfinity Series champion. Harvick holds the all-time record for Cup Series wins at Phoenix International Raceway with 8 wins. Harvick is also the third winningest driver in Xfinity Series history with 47 wins. Harvick, who began his NASCAR career in 1995, is the third of only 4 drivers that have won a championship in both the Sprint Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, and the fifth of only 29 drivers to win a race in each of NASCAR's 3 national series with 98 race wins across 3 national divisions. Harvick also won the 1998 Winston West Series title with 5 wins that season. Early life. Harvick was born in 1975 in Bakersfield, California to parents Mike and Jonelle Harvick. He is a big New York Yankees fan. He has 2 younger siblings, sister Amber and brother Clayton. Harvick began kart racing at an early age, after his parents bought him a go-kart as a kindergarten graduation gift in 1980. Over the next decade, Harvick achieved considerable success on the go-kart racing circuit, earning 7 national championships and 2 Grand National Championships. In 1992, he started racing late models part-time in the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Series, and he competed there while still in high school. While in 5th grade, Harvick gave a glimpse of his future career plans when he completed a class project poster listing his goals as competing in NASCAR and racing at the Indy 500. Harvick's father, a firefighter and fixture around the Bakersfield racing scene, built him his first car to compete in the lower NASCAR series by using the money he earned to run his own garage, Harvick Motorsports. When Harvick could not race, such as in the winter, he competed on his high school wrestling team at North High School in Bakersfield, winning a SF Central Section title in his weight class his senior year. Growing up, Harvick also participated in baseball, basketball, football, and soccer. Originally intending to attend college and major in architecture, Harvick took classes at Bakersfield College. However, he found his heart was in racing and dropped out to continue his racing career full-time. Harvick has stated countless times that his favorite driver growing up was four-time Indy 500 champion Rick Mears, who grew up at and was an idol of Bakersfield, California. Early career. Harvick made his Craftsman Truck Series debut in 1995 at the Mesa Marin Raceway, in his hometown of Bakersfield, where he started and finished 27th in his family-owned number 72. He drove 4 races in the number 72 the next season. His best finish was 11th at Mesa Marin. In 1997, he signed to drive the number 75 for Spears Motorsports mid-season, posting 2 8th-place finishes. He ran a full schedule the next season, posting 3 top 5s and finishing 17th in points. Harvick also moved up to the NASCAR Grand National Division, AutoZone West Series in 1997, and in 1998 Harvick won 5 races on his way to the Winston West Series championship while driving for Spears. He received his first real national exposure during the winter of 1997-1998 on ESPN2's coverage of the NASCAR Winter Heat Series at Tucson Raceway Park. In 1999, he drove the number 98 Porter Cable Ford for Liberty Racing, finishing 12th in points with 6 top 5s. 1999, 2000, NASCAR Busch Series. On October 23, 1999, Harvick made his first NASCAR Busch Series start in the Kmart 200 at the Rockingham Speedway in the number 2 Chevrolet. He would start 24th and finish 42nd due to engine failure. The race would be his only start in 1999. In 2000, Harvick would sign with Richard Childress Racing to drive the number 2 Chevrolet for his first full Busch Series season. Despite failing to qualify the second race of the season at Rockingham, Harvick would go on to win the NASCAR Busch Series Rookie of the Year with 3 wins, 8 top 5 finishes and 16 top 10s, as well as garnering a third-place points finish. 2001 Cup Series debut. For 2001, Childress planned to run Harvick in the number 2 Chevy in the Busch Series full-time again, while developing him into the Winston Cup Series with up to 7 races in the number 30 Chevy. He planned to race Harvick for a full schedule in 2002. The death of Dale Earnhardt on the last lap of the 2001 Daytona 500 changed Childress' plans, and Harvick began his first Cup race the following week in the Dura Loop 400 at Rockingham. On March 11, 2001, in the Cracker Barrel Old Country Store 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway, only 3 weeks after Earnhardt's death, Harvick won his first career Winston Cup victory in just his 3rd start by narrowly edging Jeff Gordon. He won the race by only 6/1000ths of a second, proving to be one of the closest finishes in NASCAR history since the introduction of electronic scoring in 1993. After the win, Harvick performed a tire-smoking burnout on the front stretch, remembering Dale Earnhardt. With 3 fingers held aloft outside the driver's window, he ran the track backwards as a show of honor and respect. Winning in his 3rd career start, Harvick became the fastest driver to win his first Winston Cup race in the modern era, breaking the record set by Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 2000. Harvick has since been surpassed by Jamie McMurray and Trevor Bayne, both of whom accomplished the feat in their 2nd starts. He won his 2nd career Cup victory at Chicagoland Speedway and Joliet, Illinois, at the end of the season. He finished with 2 victories, 6 top 5s, and 16 top 10s. Harvick was awarded with the NASCAR Rookie of the Year award, and secured a 9th-place finish in the 2001 points standings. He also won the Busch Series Championship, becoming the first driver to win the Busch Series Championship while also driving full-time in the Winston Cup Series with a top 10 finish. Harvick would end the season winning 6 pole positions and making 69 starts, 35 in Cup Series, an appearance in the Winston, 33 in the Busch Series, and 1 in the Craftsman Truck Series at Richmond International Raceway for Rick Carelli. 2002. In 2002, Harvick would spend the season concentrating on running the Cup Series and would only start 4 races in the Busch Series. He would only have 1 top 10 in those 4 starts. Harvick began the 2002 season making his first Daytona 500 starting on the outside pole next to Jimmy Johnson, but his day ended after triggering an 18-car crash on lap 148, allowing him to finish 36th. Later in the season, he made a fine for a post-race incident with Greg Biffle at Bristol Motor Speedway. He was suspended for rough driving in the truck race at Martinsville, in which he intentionally spun out driver Coy Gibbs, allowing NASCAR to immediately take him out of the race. Even though it was heard on the radio that he actually did, Harvick lied in a post-race interview saying that he didn't purposely wreck Gibbs. Harvick was banned from the Cup Series race the next day, which meant that Kenny Wallace would replace him. Harvick scored his first career Winston Cup pole position in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Later in the season, he scored his 3rd Winston Cup victory at Chicagoland Speedway. He finished 21st in the 2002 points standings with 1 win, 1 pole, 5 top 5s and 8 top 10s. Harvick became the 2002 IROC champion in his first season in the series, winning at California Speedway. In trucks, Harvick began fielding his own number 6 truck, driving himself in 5 races and winning at Phoenix. 2003. In the 2003 season, Harvick teamed with now former crew chief Todd Berrier in the Cup Series, with whom he had won the Busch Championship in 2001. Together, they won the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis. Harvick and his team jumped to 5th in the 2003 points standings, coming within 252 points ahead of Matt Kenseth. In the Busch Series, Harvick was teamed with Johnny Sota, driving the number 21 Hershey's-sponsored Payday car. The two would combine for 3 wins, 16 top 5s, and 24 top 10s, with Harvick posting all 3 wins. They would give Childress the NASCAR Busch Series Owners' Championship that season, with the Drivers' Championship going to Brian Vickers. It would be the first time that the championship would be split between two teams. Harvick competed in 19 of the 34 races, and Sota competed in the other 15. Harvick also scored 8 pole positions and finished 16th in the final point standings. 2004. While winless in the 2004 season, Harvick placed third in the voting for most popular driver. He had 14 top 10 finishes, and finished 14th in points. In 2004, Harvick was again paired with another driver in the Busch Series, rookie Clint Bowyer. They combined for 1 win, 13 top 5s, and 20 top 10s in the number 21 car, with Reese's Peanut Butter Cups being promoted. Harvick drove the number 29 Busch car in the final race of the season at Homestead Miami Speedway in the Ford 300, which he would claim his second win of the season. He finished 20th in the final standings. The number 21 car finished 4th in the owner's standings. 2005. In the 2005 season, Harvick's only Cup win came at the Food City 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway. Despite starting towards the rear of the field, he won without the assistance of crew chief Todd Berrier, who was serving a 4-week suspension for a rules violation. The following year, he continued driving the number 29 car for Childress in the Sprint Cup Series. In the Busch Series, Harvick was paired with Brandon Miller. Harvick and Miller combined for 3 wins, 15 top 5s and 19 top 10s to give the number 21 its second 4th place finish in the owner's standings. Harvick would also drive the number 29 Cup car to victory lane in the first sweep of his career on Monday, April 4, 2005 in the rain-delayed Food City 250 at Bristol Motor Speedway to go along with the Food City 500 win the day before, to give him a record 4th Busch Series win at the track. Harvick finished 18th in the drivers' standings. 2006. In 2006, Harvick decided to run both of NASCAR's top 2 series full-time. He won his first Busch Series race of the 2006 season. He followed the win with a weekend sweep of the Busch Series and Sprint Cup races at Phoenix International Raceway. Later in the season, Harvick won the Sprint Cup race at Watkins Glen International. On September 9, 2006, Harvick, only needing to finish 40th or better to clinch a spot in the chase, did better by slipping by Kyle Busch in Turn 4 going into the final lap and holding on to the lead to win the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 at Richmond International Raceway. This was his 3rd win of the season, and his 2nd sweep of the season, having won the Emerson Radio 250 the night before. This allowed Harvick, along with teammate Jeff Burton, their first berth, and first for Richard Childress Racing, in the chase for the Sprint Cup. On September 17, 2006, starting from the pole, Harvick won the first race of the chase at New Hampshire International Speedway, in the Sylvania 300. He dominated the race and by winning, was able to take the lead in the point standings for the first time in his career. Harvick would have a substandard chase run. He fell to 6th place in the point standings, until he finished 3rd at Texas. Following that was another dominating performance in the Checker Auto Parts 500 at Phoenix International Raceway on November 12. Harvick would win that race, moving him up to 3rd in points. At the season finale at Homestead Miami Speedway, Harvick would finish 5th in the race and slip to 4th in the final standings to eventual 2006 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion Jimmy Johnson. In the Busch Series, Harvick would be scheduled to run all 35 races, with 3 different cars and 2 different teams, Richard Childress Racing and his own team, Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Harvick had 9 wins, 23 top 5s, and 32 top 10s. He clinched the 2006 NASCAR Busch Series Championship on October 13, 2006 at Lowe's Motor Speedway in the Dollar General 300. It was the earliest clinch of the championship ever in the Busch Series, locking up the title with 4 races to go. He ended the season with a record 824-point margin in the final standings. 2007. On February 18 in the season-opening Daytona 500, Harvick claimed his first NASCAR Cup Series victory in a restrictor plate race, with a dramatic final lap pass over Mark Martin by .020 seconds in a green-white checkered finish. the closest margin at the 500 since electronic scoring started in 1993. The race was on the 6th anniversary of the death of Dale Earnhardt. He would become only the fourth NASCAR driver to sweep both the nationwide and Cup races in the opening weekend at Daytona after leading just 4 laps. He started 34th and he became the first nationwide series champion to win the Daytona 500 the following year. With the win, Harvick also became the 6th of 7 drivers to win both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400, following Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, Dale Jarrett, Bill Elliott, Jimmy Johnson, and preceding Jamie McMurray, 4 days after Harvick's Daytona 500 win in his first race with Shell Pennzoil as the primary sponsors. His team owner Richard Childress was asked by NASCAR to downsize the Shell logo on his firesuit and to have Harvick wear a more prominent Pennzoil logo, in an effort to play down any perceived competition with NASCAR fuel supplier Sunoco. This company asked NASCAR to talk with Childress after Harvick won both the Nationwide Series and Sprint Cup Series races wearing a prominent Shell logo on his firesuit. For the rest of the season, Harvick won the Sprint All-Star race and finished 10th in points. In 2007, Harvick started the Nationwide Series season by winning the Orbits 300 at Daytona, claiming his first win in a restrictor plate race, as well as the first win for new sponsor AutoZone in NASCAR's Nationwide Series. He also won at New Hampshire International Speedway, winning the Camping World 200 presented by RV''S.com. He also ended up unexpectedly winning the inaugural race at Montreal in August, the Napa Auto Parts 200, after with 2 laps to go. Leader Robbie Gordon was black flagged for intentionally causing a crash involving rookie Marcos Ambrose. The win was considered a bit of an upset as many expected the road course ringers to dominate and Harvick had started 43rd in the race due to a driver change. 2008. Harvick went winless in 2008, but he was still able to post a 4th place ranking in the 2008 chase for the Sprint Cup. The 4th place finish in the 2008 standings tied 2006 for his highest points position at the end of the season. Harvick also went the entire season without a single DNF for the 2nd straight year. In the Nationwide Series, he ran 22 races for his own team with sponsorship from Camping World, Rheem, and Road Loans. He did not win a race in this series either. His lone win came in a truck race at Phoenix. 2009. Harvick started the 2009 season by winning the Budweiser Shootout with a last-lap pass on Jamie McMurray, reminiscent of his win in the 2007 Daytona 500. He also launched a new social networking site, Fan Central, for his fans. A few days later, Harvick damaged his primary car for the 2009 Daytona 500. The team decided to switch to the car he drove in the shootout. Harvick went on to finish 2nd in the 2nd shortest Daytona 500 in NASCAR history. At the Auto Club Speedway in California, Harvick blew his engine, and it forced him to not finish the race, which resulted in his first DNF in 82 starts. Harvick won the first 2009 Nationwide Series race at Bristol, his first win in his own car. In addition, he won the Camping World Truck Series race at Martinsville Speedway. During the season, Jill Martin became the new crew chief for Harvick as Childress decided to switch all team members of the number 07 and number 29 except the drivers and spotters, thus giving Casey Mears Harvick's crew chief Todd Berrier. In the first 5 races following the switch, Harvick finished with an average of 25.4, finishing 34th, 11th, 41st, 17th, and 24th respectively. A short time later, reports surfaced stating that Harvick had asked a release of his contract at the end of the 2009 season to secure a ride at Stewart-Haas Racing for the 2010 season. Harvick did not comment publicly on the subject of where he would be driving in 2010. The first race after the story broke, Kevin finished 6th at the All-State 400 at the Brickyard at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. His best race came at the Pep Boys Auto 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway, where Harvick had the best car in a long run and led for most of the race, but was denied victory after a late race caution from which later eventual race winner Casey Kahn took advantage of when he went past Harvick on the restart. He finished 2nd. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?